Welcome to Bethelmatics Academy. So in today's video, I want to take you through frustum of cone. First of all, what is a frustum? Once you make a cutting that is parallel to the base on your pyramid and you cut off some portion of that pyramid, then the remaining figure that is formed is called a frustum. So this very one is a frustum of a circular base pyramid and is called a cone. So that means for the base, we are dealing with a circle, and for the top, we are also dealing with a circle. So to calculate the volume of a frustum, like this very one, what you need to do first of all is to complete this figure. So let's call here A, let's call here B, let's call here C, let's call here D, let's call here E. The height of the frustum was given, the diameter of the base of our frustum is given, and the diameter of the top of our frustum was also given. Now that I've completed this figure, we can see that this is a cone. But if you look at it very well, you see that the additional figure that I added is also a smaller cone. From here is the smaller cone, while this other one is a bigger cone. So to calculate the volume of this frustum, all I need to do is to determine the volume of the bigger cone and then also determine the volume of the smaller cone. Then I will subtract the volume of the smaller cone from the bigger cone. So what is the formula for the volume of a cone? The volume of a cone is given as 1/3 times pi r square h. I will now write my formula for the volume of the frustum like this. Volume of frustum is equal to volume of the bigger cone, this is the bigger cone, minus volume of the smaller cone. So this is the smaller cone. Okay, so this is equal to 1/3 times pi r square h minus volume of the smaller cone, 1/3 times pi r square h. If you notice, I use big R to denote the radius of the bigger cone, and I'm using small r to denote the radius of the smaller cone. I also use capital H to denote the height of the bigger cone, and I'm also using small h to denote the height of the smaller cone. Let us now write down our parameters. For the radius, for the big radius, so the radius of the bigger circle will be 20/2, since 20 is the diameter. So this will give us 10 centimeter. Then radius of the smaller cone, so this is the smaller cone, this is smaller cone, so this is the diameter of the smaller cone. So I'm going to do diameter, which is 10 centimeter, divided by 2, and this will give us 5 centimeter. So the next information we need here is the height of the smaller cone. So the height of the smaller cone, let's call it h. The height of the smaller cone is not given, so we leave it as h. We don't know what it is, which is this small letter h, is not yet given. So the next parameter we'll be needing here is the bigger height. So the bigger height is from here to here, which is the same thing as from here to here plus from here to here. That is to say 12 plus h. That means I'm looking for the smaller height. I'm also looking for a complete value for the bigger height. By method of similar figure, ADE is a smaller cone, while ABC is a bigger cone. It looks as if the smaller cone was magnified by a factor to get the bigger cone. I'm going to proceed by method of similar figure, comparing height with height and diameter with diameter. So I can say the smaller height all over the bigger height is equal to the smaller diameter all over the bigger diameter. So this will give us, what is my smaller height is not given, so h all over, what is my bigger height? My bigger height is now 12 plus h. 12 plus h. So this is equals to my smaller diameter. What is my smaller diameter? 10. All over my bigger diameter. What is my bigger diameter? 20. I can now cross multiply. 20 times h is what? 20 h. This is equal to 10 times all of this is 10 bracket 12 plus h. So this becomes 20 h is equal to 10 times 12, 120 plus 10 times h, 10h. So the next thing to do is to collect like terms. It becomes 20h. This is plus 10h. If it goes across equal sign, it becomes minus 10h. So this is equal to 120. So 20h minus 10h will give us 10h is equals to 120. So it means to get h to stand alone, I will divide both sides by 10. So h is now equal to 120 divided by 10. So that h is equal to 12 centimeter. So it means that the smaller height is 12 centimeter. So I can now come here and replace this and replace the h with 12 centimeter. And then for the bigger height, is now 12 plus h, which is now 12. So I can now replace this with 12 and I will get 24 centimeter. Now that we have gotten all the parameters in the formula we need, so the next thing is just to simply substitute. Let's just carefully replace them. Okay, so remember the formula. Volume of the first room is equal to 1 over 3 pi big R square h minus 1 over 3 pi small r square h. So let's now substitute carefully. This becomes volume of our first room is equal to 1 over 3 times pi is what? 22 over 7 times bigger R. The big R is what? 10 square times the bigger height. The bigger height is what? 24. Then we are going to minus the smaller volume of the smaller cone, which is 1 over 3 times pi is what? 22 over 7 times the smaller radius. The smaller radius is 5 square times height. The height of the smaller cone is 12 centimeter. So this means that the volume of our that will give us 52,800 divided by 3 times 7 is 21 minus 1 times 22 times 5 square. 5 square is 25. 5 times 5. So 1 times 22 times 25 times 12. That will give us 6,600 divided by also 21. So volume of the first room is now equal to, so 52,800 divided by 21 will give us 2,514.29 minus 6,600 divided by 21, 314.29. So subtracting, we'll have our final answer as 2,200 centimeter cube. Remember, we are dealing with volume. That is why our answer is in centimeter cube. If it is area, centimeter square. Mind you, sometimes you'll be given problem on frustum. They will turn it upside down. It is left for you to complete the drawing downward, or you can also revert it. You can turn the drawing downside up and then complete the drawing like a cone, then just repeat the same steps I have done. You are going to get your answer. So for more educative content, do well to hit the subscription button. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and share with those you think that this video will really help.